to nearby schools and playgrounds. Who will benefit from these attacks? Certainly not the thousands of patients who will find themselves back in the streets, where their personal safety and quality of cannabis is equally at risk. Nor will these attacks benefit the hundreds of employees to be added to the growing number of unemployed. And certainly not the anemic California economy that has received tens of millions of dollars in tax revenue. It was in San Francisco that the legislation of Proposition 215 was first drafted. It was in San Francisco that cannabis patients, providers, and city officials joined forces to create a safe, effective model for licensing and monitoring dispensaries that has been adopted throughout the state. That model continues to be implemented nationwide as more voters, state by state, say yes to medical cannabis. Presently, 15 states and the District of Columbia have voted in favor of medical cannabis. How many states will it take? 30, 40, all 50 before the federal government accepts that medical cannabis is here to stay? These patients here today do not have time to wait. These patients have depended upon us for over a decade to provide them with medicine that is affordable, consistent, and quality. Patients dealing with chronic illness know that medical cannabis is often the last resort when pharmaceutical pills with toxic side effects have failed to alleviate their pain. This latest routine of forcing landlords to evict law-abiding clubs will drive sick and disabled patients back into the streets to find relief from their suffering. While the great invader George W. Bush was in office, the medical cannabis community lived in constant fear of raids and closure. It is depressing and enraging that under the great invader, Barack Obama, this fear has become a reality. In 2008, on a platform of Change We Need, presidential hopeful Obama stated he would not use Justice Department resources to circumvent state laws on this issue. This destructive policy change is a giant step backward. This is not the change we voted for, President Obama. Melinda Haig, inside this building, the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of California, is persecuting dispensaries using the empty charge that we are located too close to schools and playgrounds. Yet, when contacted, school principals state they have made no complaints, nor has the city of San Francisco received any complaints. We will not be vilified as drug dealers, criminals, or profiteers who lack compassion. Federal intervention is not warranted where there is no harm. Melinda Haig should be ashamed of using children as political pawns to further her career on the backs of the sick, disabled, and poor.
Shame on you.
Despite numerous independent studies, the federal government continues to cling to the absurdly false notion that cannabis has, quote, no currently acceptable medical use, end quote. Our federal government should join us in the 21st century. Quit wasting time, money, and other valuable resources and reschedule cannabis now. These letters to landlords must cease, as well as the attacks on medical cannabis patients, growers, and dispensaries.